So we're talking to Dhruv, and Dhruv is going to tell us a little bit about his company.
My company's called InfoChimps. We're an online data marketplace. Anybody in the world with data can just take it and post it online. If you want to share it with the world and give it away so people have more information, we'll host it for free. If you want to sell it and recoup some of the work that you put in creating this data, you post it up on the site for some price. You choose the price, you choose the terms, the license, and we make a small commission on every sale. And that's our business model in a nutshell.
So basically, you're a research student, but on an internet level.
In some sense, yeah. Like, I am actually a physicist in my other life, and that's how I got into this, was because I work with data as part of my research projects, and I found it very, very difficult to find, and stupidly so. It wasn't difficult to find because it's impossible to work with. It was just difficult to find because nobody bothered indexing it. And so Flip, who's another co-founder right behind me, actually, he's also a scientist, and we said, hey, we got to do this thing, and let's make a website that makes all this wonderful data that exists a little bit easier to find. And then we decided, hey, we can also monetize this because people not only will download free data, they'll actually pay for it as well. And that became ultimately where the business came from. Yeah.
So people don't pay per piece of information, or do they?
Not per piece of information in the sense of per individual fact. Like, if, for example, I'll give you an example of a data set we just got from MySpace, a list of users by zip codes. It tells you every zip code in America, how many MySpace users are in there, a little bit of information about them. You're not paying per zip code. You're paying, and I forget the price, it's something like $30 to $50. You're paying for the bulk download of this entire data set. You can load it into an Excel spreadsheet, you can run calculations on it, whatever you want to do, however that helps your business and your information needs. We give you the whole thing for a fixed price. I mean, the funny thing about data is, and many times, the larger and bigger and messier it is, actually the less it costs because the less useful it is. In some sense, what you really want is like a tiny little list of like the most important facts for your business, and that, of course, is actually very expensive. So, in some sense, the size and the price are uncorrelated, and you're not paying per little piece of information. You're paying for a large collection of facts simultaneously.
And so, for example, you think that you could provide me with much more in-depth information than I could get from a Google search, let's say?
I mean, it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for a specific fact, such as who is the current president of the United States, or a historical fact, or one piece of information, yeah, Google is a great, great tool because you know something about the thing you're looking for. If you're looking for a list of, I don't know, hospital admittances by county over the last 100 years, broken down by injury, like, how would you search for that? Like, you'll start doing it.
You have that?
Actually, yeah. Yeah, we actually have a lot of hospital medical sort of record data. This is all coming from the government, by the way, and this is the point. Like, that information does exist, and it's sitting on government databases, the Statistical Abstract of the United States. Wonderful work gets done by governments to create this data, but they're terrible at sharing it. Data.gov is a great resource built by the U.S. government, but you can't comment. You can comment, but you can't, like, fix the bad data that's there. We've taken all of data.gov, put it on InfoChimps. Now you can go there, download it. If you don't like it, improve it. Like, add more information, make it easier to use, make it even more useful, and repost it, improve it. And it's got that sort of Wikipedian, crowdsourced effort to it. And that's, I think, ultimately the real value proposition that we provide. We're a specialized search engine or indexing or warehouse for data. It makes it easier for you to find, makes it removes the disincentives against sharing it, and actually provides incentives for you to improve it, because you can always, take a free government data set that sucks, improve it, charge $10 for it, and people will start to buy it. And when we see that happening on our site right now.
How many users have you got so far?
We've been around for about a year, and we opened up our site to users in September at the demo conference in San Diego, September 2009. So I guess it's been about 6 or 7 months. We're up to about, I think, somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 users. But you don't have to be a user to download any data from us. Everything that's open and free, or even to purchase. So you can we have many people who aren't users coming in every day and downloading data sets. I think we're streaming out something like a gigabyte of data every day, like just from one set of the sources that we have. So it's been very exciting. We're growing like quite a lot. We've got maybe 10,000 data sets in there. We just closed this deal with MySpace. You are excited about mobile applications, from my understanding. I know a lot about like the mobile usage habits of MySpace users, and if that's in fact is interesting for you in your writing, or if it's interesting to other companies building mobile applications, now there's a way for them to get that information.
I want to know how many hipsters at this conference have an iPhone and how many have a BlackBerry. Can you tell me?
I'm not sure.
How many have an Android phone?
I bet I could think about it. I bet I could think about it. Hey, if you could give me all their names on MySpace or Twitter or what have you, I definitely could tell you. If you give me a subset of the 100 people who you want to know about, yeah, I'll tell you in an hour and a half.
Fantastic. Well, that's very useful. I am sure that I will be using that in the future to cheat on all of my
and before we close this
essays.
up, I'd like to say that we're not just about finding data. If you have data that your business is generating, maybe not necessarily as your main product, but perhaps as a byproduct, that's data that oftentimes just sits there being useless, and it might not be useful to you. It's certainly useful to somebody else. And so we act as another value proposition we provide to businesses is, hey, take that data that's just uselessly gathering in your data warehouses, get rid of identifying details, get rid of stuff that you don't want other people to see, and then take the bulk assets and put it up for sale. It's free to do so. If nobody ever buys it, you've lost nothing. If somebody does, we're splitting profits with you. It's just another source of revenue for a lot of companies, like especially in this day and age, generating data all the time. It's just another value prop we provide, basically, right? So even if you don't find anything, please put something up for sale.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time today.